Welcome back. Nearly 1 million people in the U.S. are currently living with a multiple sclerosis diagnosis. It's a chronic neurological disease that affects the brain, spinal cord, and even the nerves in your eyes. Now, Dr. Tiffany Frenata is a neurologist with OSF Healthcare's Illinois Neurological Institute. I wish my mouth worked this morning, who specializes in MS treatment. And good morning, Tiffany. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's get down to it. Can you go through the different types of MS? I think the public gets a general understanding of what it is, but what are the different types?
Yeah, totally. So there are three main types. The first most common type is relapsing remitting. And so that's where patients have those symptoms. They're called relapses. They come and stay for a few weeks, and then they get better, and then they go for a while with nothing. And then they might get another relapse again. And so that's the most common. 85% of patients will have that. Now, some of patients with that will go on to this different form called secondary progressive. And that one doesn't have the relapses, but instead, those patients can have some worsening of their neurological exam. They may need a cane or a walker to help them get around. And then the last type is primary progressive. Now, thankfully, that is the least common type. But that one does not have those relapses. It does instead have that progression, that worsening of neurological symptoms, typically over at least a year. And many of those need a cane or a walker early in the course of their disease.
Oh, that sounds so tragic. What do the initial symptoms of multiple sclerosis look like? I remember going to college with a friend of mine who had it, and she would get blotches on her skin.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if that is a part of it, but can you tell us, what are the initial symptoms?
Yeah, so it's not surprising that in college your friend had it. You know, usually this presents between 20 and 50 years of age. That's a common time for it to present. Optic neuritis, or loss of vision that's painful, is a very common presenting symptom, but patients might have double vision, weakness, numbness, balance, or coordination issues as their presenting symptom.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. What are some lifestyle tips you have for people living with an MS diagnosis? I imagine if you have all this going on with your body, you know, it could be hard to like get out and exercise and live that healthy lifestyle.
Well, it could be, but the good news is exercise repairs. So that's one thing that we really do strongly encourage. You know, I just got back from a major MS conference, and they found that exercise remyelinates. It repairs the brain. And so we encourage that 30 minutes, 5 days a week for all our patients, as well as trying to drink a lot of water, get good sleep, healthy diet. Mediterranean's probably good. Stress reduction, which is easier said than done.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And vitamin D supplementation, and no smoking cigarettes.
Absolutely. Good tips for really a lot of us to follow there. But are there any upcoming events in the area? I'm excited because I think I know one of them.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. So actually next Friday, October the 10th, we have a full day MS symposium. So starting at 8 a.m. going to 4 p.m. Now the AM session will be focused for healthcare providers. We're going to educate the community on MS diagnosis and management of the disease. And then the afternoon is going to be a patient-focused program. It's Pathways to Wellness. We're really going to focus on patients aging with MS or those more progressive forms of the disease.
Wow. So my last question would be, what feedback do you get from people who, you know, see what you all are doing to try and make a dent on this often debilitating disease? What feedback have you gotten from people living with this?
You know, it's a tough disease. There's no question about that. But I really am inspired because there's so many different treatment options nowadays. And it really is a matter of diagnosing it early, getting on that right treatment. And patients can live well with this disease. That brain health stuff we talked about, those basic lifestyle interventions, go a long way for patients to help themselves live as best as they can with it.
Good deal. Oh, my goodness. A lot of valuable information, Tiffany. Thank you so much. And we're going to share all these details on our website. Visit ciproud.com. You see the graphic right there. But if you missed it just now, again, we're going to post it. Just click on the WMBD This Morning tab under News. Tiffany, thanks again.
Thank you so much.